Slightly overdid it, but that's the secret. You just cut them off. So I am 10 hours after my application, second application. And over here, you can see stripes, like patterns. Over here, you can see patterns. You can obviously see where I applied it. So that's kind of a letdown. Over here, turned out really well for some reason. I think it's because I made this a super thin layer just because it was already gray. And this I just had a blend. So there's a little bit that you can kind of sort of tell, you know, of the previous gray. So it's like I didn't put on enough, but I put on enough to make it stand out. So, you know, I mean, that kind of sucks, but at least it all matches, you know? That's the biggest thing. And this little asshole right here, fucking dickhead, fell on the thing and tried to flop his way around, got his guts everywhere, ruined it. Tomorrow morning though, I should be ready to put on a clear coat, which will take 3 days to cure. But that'll add some scratch resistance hopefully to it, make it a little bit less slippery, because it's not terribly slippery, but it's definitely a little slippery. You can also tell over here where all those old bubbles were. So again, it sucks, but it all matches. So I'm not 100% satisfied with my application. I did it obviously not perfect, but I am definitely way more satisfied than what it was the first time around. Look at this. So clear gloss. Before, coated surfaces, before, after. Yeah, I really want this just to hopefully make it to where, like, if I do scratch this floor, it'll be easier to just kind of sort of scuff it and then, you know, re-epoxy it. Is anti-skid additive, which allows it to, you know, not slip around so easily. Fun fact, for some reason this clear coat smells like a used diaper. I don't know why. It's been about 24 hours, give or take, and I walked the entire floor. Looking pretty good. I like it, but there is one bubble. One single frickin' bubble. You just want to pop it like a pimple. This little bastard came right in. Look how close he is right now. Don't you know I have a knife? I have all the power now. I bought a nail gun because I also got trim, right? And door trim, and you got to do the nail gun to do it. So, dang it, I was totally gonna put this up real quick. You know, real simple, real basic, but I have to cut because of this. In reality, I'm trying to prep everything. So I got one door prepped, I gotta prep that other door, then I gotta wrap all that stuff, then I gotta wrap all that stuff, and then, yeah, I mean, I gotta get it ready for spraying again. And this is my next order of Freshly. I know I keep pushing this a little bit, but I've already lost 20 pounds. So Freshly takes usually less than 3 minutes to warm up, and you get $40 off if you use my links in the description down below. I'm getting closer. I can say that I have a newfound respect for Dexter because I put plastic on the floor, plastic on the doors, and I kind of plastic wrap half of that. And then I was like, I don't even want to care about those right now. But so much plastic, so much prep, that's everything you need basically to use something like that. So part of me thinks maybe I should have just got like a powered brush, because that takes way less prep. But shiny new floor, definitely don't want to get paint on it. And this thing will get paint everywhere. I am on coat number 2. This is legit paint, actual paint. It's basically white, but kind of off-white. It's something from Sherwin-Williams called Super Paint. So it's supposed to be the best, I guess. It was super expensive. It was exterior paint. Ah, damn it. That's right, I gotta go get my respirator. Anyways, it's exterior paint, so there's that. There you go. Not a huge difference. I mean, just a slightly different shade of white, and some of it looks a little bit different because I went over it a second time, but now that I look at it, actually, that kind of looks like a different shade. So there might be some touch-up spots that I did not get very well, but everything is fairly consistent. It's just a little difficult to distinguish, you know, this off-white versus primer white. So, you know, in hindsight, if I were to prime this again and I didn't just want to do it just to see what white looked like, I would probably primer it in like a gray. That way, at least I know what areas I hit for sure. I kind of pulled that up a little bit so you can kind of see this would be my floor, this would not be my floor. So I'm really happy that I put this plastic. I just pulled that off because I took the window or the door stuff down. So really happy that I put the floor covered with plastic. And I think since it's about 10:30, I could probably kind of sort of start like taking apart, you know, at least one garage door worth of prep stuff. Keep the floor stuff obviously because that's all still wet, but you know, I can at least make my garage usable and openable tomorrow morning when I go to work. Next step though, and that's gonna be this weekend, all the trim that I purchased. And I bought a nail gun specifically just to do this trim. So you can't see it very well. It's white PVC trim, so it's water resistant and super flexible. And I'm gonna put that all around the bottom there. And then I got some of the round corner things that I'm gonna put up there. Also, I got some door stop stuff that I'm gonna put over these. I'm gonna take that off and replace that one so they match. So I got, you know, kind of a project to do this weekend. Obviously, this whole thing is a big project, but once I do all that, then I can go around and paint. And yeah, there's some overspray on there that I'm gonna paint those too, so it doesn't matter. Something that I did realize that I forgot, the prep was this. So I'm gonna have to run some acetone over that and kind of clean that up a little bit. When I noticed it, when I was over here painting, I'm like, well, it's too late now. I'm already committed. So I'm just gonna have to clean that up later. There we go. It's the next day. And everything is ready to get pulled up. If I had the opportunity to go back and change one major decision in this entire project, I mean, aside from deciding to do it in the first place, it would be the cracks. I'm kind of thinking that I really should have filled the cracks in. Because, I mean, you can buy the stuff. I actually bought it for some other purposes, which will be later in the video, but you can easily fill these cracks with stuff out of a bottle or whatever. I mean, it makes the entire floor smooth and you don't have crap stuck in the cracks of your garage. I mean, these things are basically stress cracks, which you can see right here. See how the concrete cracks along that line versus, you know, the rest of the concrete floor. So, I mean, it's been sitting here, what, 7, 8 years already? So any stress cracking that should have happened from the initial pour has already happened. And it happened exactly where they were supposed to happen, in the stress crack. So with that out of the way, I really should have just filled it in, and then I would have had one solid floor. So I thought about this earlier, but it was already too late because I put down the first thing. It was actually while I was putting the resin down, I was like, why the hell did I not put the crack filler in? I don't know why. Okay, I do know why. It's because I was aggravated by this douche that didn't show up to do my floor, who was going to fill in the cracks. I was aggravated he didn't show up, so I was just trying to get this done, you know? Just want it done. I finally was able to get my stuff moved in, or at least, you know, the big stuff that I had literally sitting in the backyard. So that includes my toolbox, which has been out there for, you know, a couple weeks now, and something that really kind of irritates me that I gotta figure out how to fix is this brand new toolbox. During my moving back and forth, I bent it. So probably gonna take out this bottom drawer, see if it's possible to bend that back, maybe take a hammer to it. I don't really know, but I bent the hell out of it. I caught a dip in my lawn and it just freaking ruined it. I think I did pretty good. I've never installed trim before, so not perfect, but you know what? It is still a garage. First off, this thing was just a piece of wood, and the sheetrocker put sheetrock around it because it kind of came out a little bit, about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. So I figured it's like a kick guard or whatever, so you don't, you know, mess up whatever. So I purchased some black diamond plated stuff to put on there, and then I bought a like kit or one of those threshold things that you put on hardwood floors that has like different level sides to help you transition. So I took that, I cut it, angled it, basically treated it like trim. I caulked in all those holes where I used to screw it in because I actually tried to use my nail gun and it jammed the entire nail, like just bent the hell out of it. So whatever this stuff was, super hard. In fact, when I tried to cut it with the miter saw, it just exploded. So I had to like make sure the miter saw was at 100% speed before trying to cut that, because that was super, super hard to cut. And then we got, of course, trim all across, just like that. So that turned out pretty good. I still have like there's a seam, that ain't perfect, really don't care. We got, of course, the new molding around the door, so it didn't have anything before, so that's cool. It looks a lot better. And then this is the what's left over of the sheet, which I have some other ideas with this, but touch base on that later. Just kind of trying to fly through this 4th video. Basically, since this whole thing is taking so long, I'm not giving like every single thing I do. I'm just trying to kind of give major updates. Ideally, this should be the last video. And then on all the corner pieces, which is my new thing, I still gotta mount that, but on all the corner pieces, they run right up the wall. That way, because there's, you know, sheetrock up to it, it just kind of looked weird. So that just cleans up all those edges. I have all those edges everywhere. And part of my Home Depot run was I was actually short 2 pieces, but, or one of my Home Depot runs. But I have those edges everywhere. I'm going to paint those to match the trim color, which all these boards are gonna be painted a different trim color, including all of the trim on the baseboards. Like all the base trim is gonna be a different color than the wall, because they're just primered right now, or PVC stuff. So, you know, I mean, look at this. You know, it's not perfect, but I just cut everything at 45. Having a miter saw definitely helps, but you know, just whatever, it looks good. And for the record, the first nail gun that I bought was just junk. It sucked. Like, I didn't have that much to put up after I bought it, but it just went like way faster. Before it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and okay, it doesn't work anymore. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes, I could use it again. You know, it felt like it was like overheating maybe, which I have no idea why. I was barely using it. But once I got the new one, works perfectly. And I have spent a ton of time caulking everything. The tops, the bottoms. On the bottoms there, you can kind of see it's clear, and on the top, it's white. Everything is primarily white caulking, but everything that was, you know, on the floor, the base concrete itself, I wanted it to be clear because I didn't want it to look weird. So just caulked everything. I did not imagine how long caulking the entire freaking garage would take, but holy crap, it took a while. And again, not perfect, but because some of them has a bigger spot, I just didn't want water potentially to come down the wall, then go up underneath the trim, and then just get soaked into the drywall, you know, and start creating areas for mold and, you know, rot and stuff like that. So that was kind of a huge priority for me, is to make sure that all of this is water sealed, just in case I, let's say, I don't know, power wash my floor. The good news is, now that all the trim's up, all I gotta do is paint the trim, and then the more expensive stuff comes in when you'll see. And the next update, Jason spends all day painting trim in a grayish, bluish color. Why am I talking like this? So I got this trim color, right? It's like a charcoal, bluish, grayish color. So painted everything that I could reach without a ladder. This, I'm really super proud of how this turned out. I still have to take either the gray paint or black paint and make the bottom look better. And I put this clear silicone on it, and I'm kind of regretting that, but the silicone comes off really easily. But either way, that kind of turned out good, right? I like it. I didn't make it to anything that required a ladder, so Exhibit A. My thing is though, is that now that I've kind of got this done, I need to know what color to make the doors. But you know what? I'm gonna take off all of the tape first, just so I can look at it without that. As you guys know, I painted the trim, but I was not, on the first round, able to get all of this done, like these little top things done, because it required a ladder, took more prep, and you know, I just saved that for another day. But I did get all of that painted yesterday, so it is officially completed. Look at that. So just a little hint of like charcoal, like blue. I like it. It really kind of makes it pop a little bit. Last night I did spend a lot of time taking everything out of this box, taking it all apart, and trying to pound this out, level it back out, which I did a little bit. I did get it fixed slightly, but it still looks like mangled garbage, you know, if you get up and look close to it. This is from hammer damage, so I'm gonna get a little bit of red spray paint and then kind of try to touch that up. But what I ended up doing was moving the rotating ones over to that side, and then moving the standalone ones on this side. That way there's no chance of it screwing up, because those have to be perfectly level for them to rotate freely and smoothly. But those, not so much. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have a new table that is on the way, but it is literally the exact same size as the table that I built by myself. It's just a lot nicer. So I can kind of sort of get things set up and lined up around here using that, because it's the same size table, which I'm pretty close to doing, I think. This side right here, this corner, this is, you know, right in the middle of my garage. This corner, before, I had a really crappy built shelf that held my 14-gallon fuel tank that I have. And that's a gravity-driven fuel tank, so it has to be up a little bit. And today I'm gonna go get some shelving brackets and some wood and some other stuff and just make that look really nice. Build myself another little shelf up there, and well, that's it. I'm gonna do that. Another thing that I'm working on is, this is still not mounted, right? I mean, I have it hooked up. I don't have the shield on it, but this is still not mounted, and that's for a reason, because I have some, you know, ideas. Basically, if you guys remember the kick plate I put over there, see that little diamond plate stuff that I have? So this is part of that. And I've been cutting pieces out of it as I've been using it, because it's been really super nice. I use this with the Loctite stuff. It's like a adhesive. I use that, Loctited it to that, put some trim on it. That one turned out, I think, really well. Like, it looks fantastic. I'm super happy with it. So now I cut off another piece. It's about yay big. This is the piece that I cut off. And I put a piece of board that was a little bit smaller than it, and I cut off the corners, and I'm gonna wrap it around. So essentially, I'm making a 15 by 11 inch diamond plate backing that I'm going to secure to the wall behind my irrigation system. And then I'm going to obviously secure the irrigation system to that. Now I drilled a hole in the piece of wood, and then I'll have to drill a hole into the metal or whatever, but so this will go through that, and it'll sit up like this, right? And it'll have like a nice diamond plate backing, which I think would look pretty cool. Now I can't actually do that until that thing cures. So the goal here for the wall is I'm going to have the table. It's gonna be the first table right before the door, or right after the door, right? And that's gonna be the 8-foot table that I ordered from Home Depot. It's a Husky table. Right after the table, I'm gonna have my toolbox. Right after the toolbox, I'm gonna have a black full-size cabinet for storage, which I already have all of that except for the table, but I have a table I can put in there. And then, because this little corner is perfect, I'm going to get another black Husky full-size cabinet shelf for storage, which means I'm going back to Home Depot. For storage though, I really want some storage, and I found some storage that is like 96 inches that I could fit 2 of them right next to each other. So yeah, if I hang them up there, I have 48 inches worth of depth storage. I can lower it all the way down to where it's barely above the railing right there. And then I can have literally just all of that wasted space right now that has nothing going on. I can have all of that with storage. And it would be tall enough to store things like my new paint sprayer. What do I do with that right now? You know, I mean, I don't even know when the next time I'm gonna use that. And this, you know, what do I do with this? I put like a little platform with wheels. Whatever, I don't even know what to do with this thing. It doesn't fit anywhere in my little layout. One more goal that I have today, if I can get to it, right, is these. I got these strips. It's basically a new seal for the bottom of the garage, and it's a concrete seal that actually goes on the concrete. So with the new seal and the seal on the ground combined, it's supposed to drastically reduce, you know, draft or water getting in or bugs. So I know it's a garage, there's gonna be bugs, but I'm trying to take steps to reduce it a little bit. I even got some of that crack filler that I was talking about, because look at that, that's such just an easy access for roly-poly specifically. They just come all up in there, you know? And look how this is like broken. Like, yeah. Also, at some point, I gotta figure out a way to clean up the overspill there. It's a little embarrassing, I know. Oh, Home Depot. How I loathe and love you at the same time. All right, so got all that, got all that, all this, stuff everywhere. And I'm in the loading zone for 4 bigger items. Air compressor, cabinets, other cabinets, and a better ladder. Finally, after I do all the hard work and almost die on the other ladder, I decide, let's get another one. Big old trip to Home Depot. That hurt a lot, but I'm making progress. I spent the last few hours making progress. Before I show you that progress over there, I'll show you what I'm working on for the sprinkler system mounting thing. Took a piece of spare wood. This was something I used before for other projects, literally just MDF, it's paper. And I cut out a square and I put it on top of it, and then I used Loctite, like the liquid nail type stuff, and I glued it to it. It sat there for almost a day, pretty close to a day, but I'm pretty sure it's set pretty well. And now I am taking my little rubber mallet and I am pounding the edges over like so. See that right there? Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not gonna look fantastic on the back. I don't really care. It's not supposed to look good on the back. But once I get all this pounded all the way over on the side, I'm gonna have this nice, clean thing that's wrapped in diamond plating. I had this idea when I saw this sheet of diamond plate, so that's why, that's not even mounted right now. I got the outlet on there, but I am going to drill a hole into this, so that way, I already have it kind of, see that? I'm just gonna drill a hole right through that, and then that's where I'm gonna run all the wires, and then I can staple that to the wall and it's just gonna look so sexy. Oh man, I'm excited. Oh yeah, look at this. That is sturdy as hell. Pretty nice. I kind of like pushed them in as far as like, well, I mean, reasonably far. That way they're just indented and they're not going to push up on the sprinkler thingy. So yeah, now just got to mount. Not bad. Pretty even. And it is definitely like higher up than what I probably should have made it. That's because I made the hole too high. I literally pushed it down as far as I could go and still have access to the wires. So it is a little off, but it looks close enough. It's 3 inches exactly on each side, so that was easy. And now I just gotta wire it. Okay, so if I would have planned ahead better, I would have tried to figure out a way to run the 12 volt behind it with all the other wires. But on the flip side of that, that would mean I would have to hide that inside the wall. So I would have to have some sort of a converter behind drywall, which inherently is a fire hazard and would never pass code because you can't do that. Probably, maybe, I have no idea. But either way, I could have ran something a little bit better. Maybe, I just didn't. So that's what we got. A couple staples down here that aren't really holding in. There we go, just push those in right there. And that's what we got. I guess if it really bugged me, and it won't, but if it really bugged me, I could basically take this off. Now that I know where all the mounting spots are or whatever, it wouldn't be that hard. I could take this off, drill a hole in the wall right next to it, drop the cable down, and then pull it through the other hole. It would be a pain in the ass, especially with insulation in there, but I could do it. Not gonna do it, but I could do it. Okay, don't laugh, but I got some like hobby paint and a little paintbrush, and I painted it black. See? Way better. I might have to do a second coat because it doesn't stick very well, but that's okay. Now it's not a complete eyesore. It's the little things that count. I have this thing where I jump into a decision that I just randomly decide, and I don't necessarily always consider the gravity of said decision. Like, Exhibit A, this entire garage project. The cost, the labor, everything sucks. But part of this renovation project is also my brand new air tank. An air tank of which I've gotten away without having for so long. I'm not saying I won't use it, but I'm not saying I needed it. I decided to buy this, add it to my garage, with the intent, not really knowing how, but had an idea, of putting it on the wall, in the corner specifically, right there. It is 2 inches too tall to put it in the corner, so I gotta put it somewhere else. Maybe. And that's where this decision thing comes in, where it's like, if I would have actually considered all the angles, it's very possible I would have, looked at measurements. That would have been a thing. I don't want to get too much into that. The point is that you just kind of jump in head first. And somewhere along the way, you either figure it out or you fail. Because if you always are trying to think ahead and plan every single step, then you're always going to be scared to move forward. At least that's how I justify my irrational actions, is that at least I'm moving. I may have derailed like 3 miles back, but this train's still going. Today, I am going to go to the aluminum place, and I am going to figure out some way to get this damn thing on the ceiling. Some way, somewhere, somehow. As sad as it is, like one of the biggest motivations I had was a blower. Like, ooh, ring my ear a little bit. Oh shit, my gum's gone. This is a perfect example. I decided to go to the local aluminum place. I didn't bring a tape measure or really measurements for what I need, but tons of stuff here that I could use to make, you know, a shelf for that thing. And about 49.5 inches. So obviously it won't fit over there, but I was thinking, like, you know, maybe above this. So that's 59 inches of clearance. So technically, I could put it above it if it wasn't for two things. One, the stud is at the wall, so I don't actually have a stud to run, you know, like this, and the studs go this way. So I don't have a stud to attach a bunch of aluminum to all the way to the top. So basically what I'm saying is I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. I don't know. Okay, I've decided that this is gonna be sectioned off and probably house most of like my hosing connects and stuff like that, but that doesn't matter. Right now, wait, why is that going? Okay, right now, I wanna turn this bench into a vise and grinding bench, right? So it'll be a little work area. This swivels, and I'll have my grinder right here. This is a grinder that I got from Harbor Freight. It's completely okay if it's Harbor Freight because, I mean, I'm not gonna use it all the time, but there are a lot of times where I always bust out the Dewalt grinder and kind of grind stuff down, so it'd be nice if I had something on hand. But at the hardware store today, I got some aluminum and got some nuts and bolts with washers. Wait, where's the nuts? I lost my nuts. There's the nuts. So the first thing I'm gonna do is mount my vise, which this comes into play. This nice little set of drill bits that I talked about a long time ago from Kimball Midwest. These things, they drill through everything. So wood, metal, these are some of the best drits, or bits, drits, that I've ever had. So I'm just gonna drill through this mofo. Underneath it will go through some metal, which is completely fine. If anything, it's gonna add, you know, a little bit of support there. But as you can see, it's 3 of them. And I just gotta drill right through it. All right, just to make this mine, because I just reached underneath and hurt myself, got blood on that, I'm gonna put a little bit of blood right between there, just to say, I officially put my blood, my sweat, and if I can make myself cry, my tears. Is that the weirdest thing you've ever seen somebody put in a YouTube video? Probably not. I think this means that I've officially completed the Klingon blood oath between me and my tools. Like, that's exciting, you know? It doesn't really hurt, just kind of keeps bleeding a little bit. But either way, there you have it. Look at that. See? Rotate it around. Pretty fancy. And just like that, a grinding vise bench is built. Just kidding. Yep, it grinds. Okay, so I learned today that a grinding wheel vibrates a lot. And when you attach it to a super flimsy, cheap, husky cabinet, it vibrates a lot. So that sucks. That was a terrible decision. I'm sticking with it though, because I've already drilled the holes. I don't know if I said anything or not, but this thing is so awesome. I use my blower all the time, and it's always a pain in the ass to start it up. But this, so powerful. I love it. I ended up buying like the best version of this because I was hesitant for so long to buy an electric blower just because I figured they didn't really put out as much as gas blowers, which has been true for a while. But with this one, with a nice big Dewalt battery, this thing is pretty beefy. In fact, I've been using it around the garage here and blew a few things off the sidewalk or the driveway, And not once have I thought, man, I should whip out the gas blower. This thing is pretty stout. But let's test it though. Tomorrow is trash day, so I'm gonna see if they'll take this. I don't know if they will or not, but that thing's almost killed me multiple times, so good riddance. Now, let's see, deja vu. I thought this would be a lot quicker. I guess I did project it was possible that this would take more than just a few videos, but it looks like this part 4 is going to need a part 5. So I have so much more to do. And I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this like backboard. I have to put something. I don't know if I'm gonna put pegboard, wall control, omni wall. Like there's a couple different options. But my thing is that I got the plugins and stuff, and I'm gonna have like extension bar for plugins and everything underneath it. So like, I don't know. Like, do I just buy some regular pegboard, like maybe metal pegboard, and cut around it like I did before, except this time better? Or do I go the full-on expensive route of like $500, $600, $700 for a freaking wall? I don't know, but I got a lot of stuff coming on Amazon, especially stuff for up there, some storage, and I just have so much more to do that I'm gonna have to make a 5th video. But because I'm, you know, kind of rushing through it and kind of only recording every once in a while, it's gonna be like a grand reveal, like, oh! So, but before I do that, and before I wrap it up for the day, because I still have sunlight, I'm going to do one last thing, and that is build my fuel shelf. I mentioned this before, but I like having a little fuel shelf here, elevating my gas tank, right? That way I can fill up, well, whenever I get my 4-wheeler back, that way I can fill up my 4-wheeler and anything else that I might need, like, you know, lawnmower or weed eater. That's not on the wall anymore. Oh shit, I forgot about that. That's another thing. Do I just use the old organization thing that I had, or do I buy a completely new one? I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. It's not the jankiest thing I've done in this garage. Just like that, the fuel shelf is born. It's not the best, but it'll hold. Probably. I don't know, let's test it out. Okay. Little flimsy. In fact, I don't see any reason why I should install like more nuts and bolts. Like, that's just kind of there for moral support. So like, it's all about pushing down. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put any more bolts in it. That should be good. Okay, now the fuel shelf is done. And it's solid AF, I'll tell you what. I think I'm done. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. Part 5 will definitely be a thing. I got a lot to do, including figuring out how I'm gonna mount up this blower. I'm up for suggestions, or compressor, I'm sorry. I'm up for suggestions, right? I did go and I did get aluminum, so let me close with that. I went to the store and I bought some aluminum squares, right? Like these for the drop down. Right, I got 4 of those. It was like for the posts. And then some 30 inches, so 30, 60, and then these are just random size. But I figured I could make some sort of a bracket that drops down from the ceiling somewhere on a corner, as long as I can attach it to a stud. But like I was saying before, as far as the stud goes, I mean, it's right there on the wall. So, I mean, there's a little bit where the drywall attaches to, but for the most part, there's only like ½ inch. So if I do this, I'd probably have to go up through the attic, and add in studs, like wherever I'm gonna mount this. That way it has a supporting, you know, something to drill into. So that is gonna be probably what I'm gonna do, but it just kind of depends on where do I want it. I really want to put it right over this, but that doesn't line up very well with the attic entrance there. So I'm probably gonna have to put it somewhere else. Maybe off just to the side right there. It'll just be like right above it. I don't know, I'm welcoming any suggestions out there. If you guys have any ideas, I'm all ears. Basically, whenever I figure out and get that mounted, then I'll have this to put up, which attaches to the ceiling or wherever I put it, probably the ceiling. And then I can, you know, pull this tube out and retract it very easily. And next on my agenda as well, yes, this 50-foot retractable cord with reel, triple tap. Oh yeah. So that's it for today. I really wanted to get farther in this before I made what I thought was gonna be the last video, but it's just taking longer than what I thought. I've been dumping so much time into this garage project. All my free time is just in it, and I am so ready for it to be over. So hopefully some of you guys enjoy this, and I know some of you don't like it, but I do what I can to be as entertaining as possible. Speaking of, if you made it this far in the video, the end credits should be coming up, and I will link a secret video of me getting blown. Well, that's it for today, guys. Major products that I'm featuring today will be listed in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.